Hey y'all, welcome to Back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. I'm Roger, and I sure am happy to have y'all here with us today. So today, guys, we're going to be making a crock pot minute steak. Now, y'all may not know this, but minute steak is one of my favorite meals to have. And the way we make it in the crock pot, it is so tender. So y'all sit back, relax, get you a cold drink, and we're going to get started making this crock pot minute steak.
Yeah. Porch boards sway in a slow rhythm. Got the screen door sighing a low hum. That old wood stove is cooking something good. Smell of bacon filling up the neighborhood.
Now to make this minute steak, the first thing we're going to do is we've got a plate here, and I put some self-rising flour in it. Of course, y'all know we use the white lily flour. So we've got that in there. And we want to season our flour just a little bit. So we're going to take and put some salt. And we're going to put some pepper in there. And then over here on the stove, I've got my cast iron skillet. I've got some oil in there. And again, you guys use whatever kind of oil you want to use. But we're heating this oil up. And we're going to flour our minute steak or cube steak. So we've got our flour seasoned. We'll kind of mix it up a little bit. With the minute steak, I do always put a little extra salt and pepper on one side, even though this flour's seasoned. So our skillet's getting pretty warm, so I think we can go ahead and start flouring our minute steak. So we're going to just take a piece, we're going to lay it on there like that, using the hand I didn't touch it with, and we're going to put a little salt and a little pepper. Not a whole lot of either, because remember, we did go ahead and do the flour mixture. Alright, we're just going to turn it over. We want to get some all over it, on the sides and on the back and the front. And we've got 4 pieces, and we're going to do all 4 pieces like this. So we're going to go ahead and put that piece in there. We'll get our second piece out. A little bit of pepper. You want it to be white when you get ready to put it in the skillet. Alright, going with our second piece. Now we're just going to brown this steak. We're not fully cooking it. We just want to get a good brown coating on both sides of it. Alright, now save your flour. Don't throw it away, because we're going to be using it here in just a little bit. So that's what we want our steak to look like. And now we're going to be ready to put it in the crock pot. So we're just going to take our pieces, pull them right out of there, and just lay them down into the crock pot. We got them all in there. And now we're ready to make a little gravy to go along with this. We're going to add a little flour to that, probably about 2 tablespoonfuls. That's why I told you don't throw that flour away just yet. Basically, we're just, making a roux just like we would with any other kind of gravy. And we may have to have a little more flour there, just depends on how this does. But we're just going to stir it around, scrape up all those bits that's on the bottom, because that's the flavor. I tell y'all all the time, that's the flavor. I want to turn the heat down on that just a little bit. We're going to let that flour cook for just a minute, because we want to get that flour taste out of it. So it needs just a little bit of time to cook. And I've got 2 cups of beef broth that we're going to put in here. And that's going to make our gravy for us. So we're just going to start, just give this a good stir here. We're going to put a little bit in there. We're not going to put it all in there. And then we'll see how that works out and see if we need more. And again, just deglaze the bottom of your pan. Just use your spatula to go all around. And you're going to see it starts to thicken. And so once it starts to thicken, you want probably going to pour a little more of that beef broth in there, because we don't want this to be super thick when we pour it over the minute steak. Oh, it's looking pretty. Smelling great too. Alrighty, let's see about some more of this beef broth. Alright, let's give that a stir again. Guys, I'm telling you, this is looking marvelous. It's exactly what we want it to look like. Alright, I think we are ready to pour this on top of our meat. Now, this is the part that gets tricky, because these cast iron skillets are pretty darn heavy. So just be careful. I'm going to use 2 pot holders, and you're probably not going to be able to see me do this, but I'm just going to pour it straight in over top of our minute steak. Now, it's not going to completely cover the minute steak. You're going to have some that's kind of sticking up in the top of it. That's perfectly fine. You can go low for probably around 3.5, 4 hours, or you can go high and probably do it in about 1.5 to 2 hours. Just whenever it gets to the point of the tenderness that you like. If you like it a little chewy, let it go less time. If you want it just fall apart tender, you got to let it go a little longer. Y'all ready for some history on cube steak? Growing up, I always called it minute steak. That's my whole family called it minute steak. So doing this research, I learned something. Did you ever wonder why we put minute steak into the slow cooker? It sounds like a contradiction, right? Historically, a true minute steak was a thin, high-end slice of sirloin meant for a hot skillet, done in, you guessed it, 60 seconds. But by the time these cuts hit most local grocery stores, the label started being applied to cube steak, that tougher, machine tenderized beef from harder working parts of the cow. If you tried to cook those like a fancy minute steak, you'd be chewing all night. Everything changed in the 1970s when the crock pot became a kitchen staple. Home cooks realized that if you took these tough, budget-friendly steaks, I'm not so sure they're so budget-friendly anymore, and gave them a long, slow bath in a rich, savory gravy, the connective tissue would finally surrender. It was the birth of the smothered era. We stopped rushing the process and started letting time do the work, turning a cut that was supposed to be fast into a slow-cooked, fork-tender classic that's perfect over rice, potatoes, or grits. It's the ultimate kitchen hack, taking a minute cut and giving it the all-day treatment. So, there's a little history there that minute steak and cube steak are actually 2 different things. Minute steak is a higher end piece of meat that's been pounded and tenderized, and cube steak is a piece of lower end meat like a top round or something like that that has been run through a mechanical machine to tenderize it. So hopefully we learned something today. We've got our plate together. We've got our minute steak over here with some gravy, potatoes with gravy, fried squash, a piece of tomato that came out of our garden, and a piece of fresh bread that we made. This just looks wonderful to me. So I'm going to give it a taste here in just a second, and we're going to see how everything is. All right, so I'm ready to taste this steak. It's fork tender. I was able to cut it with my fork, and so we're going to give it a try and see how it tastes. Oh my Lord. So good. That steak is so tender. Like I said, you cut it with a fork, it just melts in your mouth. The gravy is awesome. I just, again, I'm at a loss for words on this one. So I'm going to give these potatoes a try. These are some Yukon Gold potatoes that we grew in our garden as well. And so it's going to be the first time I get to try any of them. So I'm kind of interested in how they taste. They are delicious. But again, the main thing is that steak. Guys, I'm telling you, I know it makes you have to wait a little while to get it, cooked, but about 2.5 hours on high in this crock pot. And these things are, like I say, so tender they will melt in your mouth. So, y'all need to make this for your family, share it with your friends. They're all going to love you for it. And remember, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Click on that bell so you get notifications when we put up new videos. And guys, I'm going to sit down and enjoy this plate of food. This is going to be the first thing I've ate all day today, and it's about almost 7 o'clock in the evening, and I've eaten nothing all day long, so I'm starving. So I'm going to go sit down, have this, enjoy it. I hope you guys will make it because I know you're going to enjoy it. And we will see you next time. Appreciate y'all being here and appreciate you watching the videos. Y'all have a great one.